Hello everyone, welcome to Rockshire Gaming. My name is Eric. Today we're going to be unboxing the second villain expansion for Marvel United X-Men. It's about to get hot in here, guys, because we are going to take a look at the Phoenix 5. Now, this is an interesting expansion for me. As I said, it is the second expansion, because as I was getting ready to film this, I realized that each Marvel United and other United games have had a first villain expansion that is kind of usually like the initial expansion announced with the campaign, and then they have a second one. For season 1, it is Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet, and then it's of course the Sinister Six mode. In Multiverse, which is in the future of this campaign, we have the Galactus expansion, and then we have the Maximum Carnage expansion, which is mostly all villains. In season 2, however, we had the Apocalypse expansion, which was our first villain expansion, and then we got the Phoenix 5. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the front box right there. We do have Hope Summers right here in the front, and then we have Phoenix versions of Ileana and Pietro Rasputin. We've got Namor the Submariner, we've got Cyclops, and we've got Emma Frost, the White Queen, right there. As we flip it over, we get Hope Summers as our one hero, Colossus, Cyclops, Magic, Emma Frost, and Namor as our villains right there, and a whole bunch of components to go with them. So, like I said, this is kind of a villain expansion, or is a villain expansion, because there's 5 villains in this one. So not as many as like in a Sinister Six mode would go, but we do have quite a few villains in the game. Now, as far as this box goes, this one's kind of a mixed bag for me as far as just like what it represents and everything like that, because thematically I wasn't necessarily excited about this box. I'm perfectly honest with you. I read Avengers vs. X-Men, didn't really too much care for the story, especially the whole like Phoenix Force being split into 4 parts and this, that, and the other. Like, it's one of those stories I really probably need to go back and reread, just because there's a lot of things I didn't like on the first pass, especially the ending, and in my mind, just the vilification of Cyclops. However, mechanically, this does seem like an interesting expansion, and we'll kind of get into that once we take a look inside and take a look at the rulebook. So we'll go ahead and put the box lid right there. We do have the Phoenix 5 mode. We'll go ahead and take a look at the inside. So we have our components here, which we'll have out, and then we have our Phoenix 5 campaign and how to set it up. So the thing with the Phoenix 5 campaign that is interesting here is that we'll see here in a second, but we do have 5 separate smaller dashboards that essentially, if I'm remembering correctly, so yeah, like right here in the rules, players undertake a series of games taking on each of the Phoenix 5. If the heroes lose a game, the campaign immediately ends and they are defeated. If they win a game, they move on to fight the next villain. Who grows in power, how far into the campaign the heroes are able to go will be the mark of their success. Only the best can hope to defeat the 5th and final villain in the full power of the Phoenix Force. So that is the pretty cool thing on there. So it is like a growing threat. So like I said, mechanically wise and everything, this expansion intrigues me, but just because of the fact that with the theme of Phoenix 5, I almost would have liked to have seen Dark Phoenix actually get her own box, just because of how iconic that storyline is, and gone through that. But they go through the setup and everything there. Supervillain mode, campaign, standalone campaign right there. So we've got all of that right there. So let's go ahead and open this one up. So we do have right immediately on top of the plastic, which I didn't see, is going to be the dashboards. And if you notice, again, like I said, these dashboards are a lot thinner. So there's this special setup there for Cyclops, Emma Frost, Colossus, and looks like they're all very much the same on the back, and then what things you use in supervillain mode right there. When you flip these over to the other side, you do have the special rules like here for Cyclops, but then you also notice that the BAM effect is written down there on the bottom. According to the rules, as the Phoenix is growing more and more and more, once Cyclops is defeated, you go to fight Emma Frost, you get more and more damage right there. And so it even says right here on special rules, the BAM effects of the Phoenix 5 are cumulative, so each villain brings all the BAM effects of the previously defeated villains. When a villain activates their BAM, they activate all of the BAM effects available to them from top to bottom. The BAM at the top will apply before the BAM on the below, and so on. So like in this instance right here, Emma BAMs give 1 crisis token to each hero in the villain's location and to 1 hero in each adjacent one, see special rules, and then the next BAM would go off, deal 1 damage to each hero in both locations adjacent to the villain. So again, it can start to pop off when you have this mode, and so it can. The fact that the Phoenix builds up power throughout the campaign is kind of interesting to me, again, because of the theme of the Phoenix 5 thing from Avengers vs. X-Men. Thematically wise, I was kind of about this expansion. Mechanically is one of the reasons why I decided to go all in and get it, though. So again, there is Cyclops' lone dashboard right there, and then we've got Emma's right there. Then we've got Phoenix Colossus here. Magic right there. And finally, Namor's here. So that is going to be the dashboards for all the characters. Next thing we're going to go ahead and take a look at, because there's no other necessary like physical components to the game. I don't even think there's a punch board. Yeah, there wasn't even a punch board for this. We are going to have a couple of new things here. So one of the things we do have starting off is the Train Hope mission, which replaces one of the other missions in the game. There's what's on it right there. So we've got that. We do have Hope Summers as our lone hero. We'll take a look at that here in a second. We do have various threat cards. We have threat cards for the Phoenix itself. And then we've got Cyclops' deck with his threat cards, Emma, so on and so forth right there. So let's go ahead and take a look at our lone hero for the game before we get into all of our villains. There is Hope Summers, adopted daughter of Cable. There are her various cards. Her shooting her optic blast out there, looks like there. Embracing Destiny. Discard 1 card to the bottom of your deck to clear the threat card in your location. If this is the first Embracing Destiny card in the storyline, discard 2 cards instead. So we've got that right there. Looks like she's got 3 of those and no starting hand. But we've got Denying. The next Master Plan card is played face down in the storyline with no effect. Then remove the top card of the Master Plan deck from play and flip this card face down. So there's that. So that is going to be the Hope cards in the deck. Next, we do have various, like I said, threats to the game, because we've got Phoenix threats, then we've got Cyclops with his threats here. We do have Emma Frost and her threats. We've got Colossus. We've got Magic, and we do have Namor. Costume-wise, these all look pretty great. I mean, Cyclops' visor, I do always find funny that it looks like the beak of the Phoenix Force is what that looks like. It's like, you know what? Actually, it looks like a penguin. Now that I'm looking at it, I can't unsee that. Looks like a mechanical penguin on the side. That's cool. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at his threats right here. Next step in evolution, non-mutant heroes that take damage in this location take 1 extra damage. That is a definitive callback to Avengers vs. X-Men. So basically, if it's a character, for the most part, not in the X-Men campaign, then they're going to take some extra damage. We've got Building a Better World. Add 1 civilian to this location into both adjacent locations right there. And then, we've got No Mercy for traitors right here. Mutant heroes that take damage in this location take 1 extra damage. So this is the box that basically, or the card that basically takes out your mutant characters. So we've got, again, the distinction on here that this is Cyclops from Phoenix 5 on the top of the card there. He's going to have various bamming cards. Bamming. Only the Guilty Run right here. Deal 1 damage to each hero not in Cyclops' location. Each hero in this location opposite to Cyclops takes 2 damage instead. So there is that one. He's got 2 of those. And then we've got Phoenix Power. Move each hero 1 location away from Cyclops. Then deal 1 damage to each hero in the location opposite to Cyclops. So that is what we've got to deal with Cyclops with threats. And then let's go ahead and move on to Emma Frost. First, we'll take a look at her threats. We've got Altering Perceptions right here. It looks like she's got 4 of them, each one of them dealing with a different token type, and even the bottom deals with different tokens. Heroes starting their turn in this location cannot perform, and then whatever action symbol this turn. Same thing with Wild, same thing with Movement, Heroic, and Punching right there. And as you can see from the bottom of all the cards, you have to have different token symbols to take them out. So there is that, and then she's got Enhanced Telepathic Powers. Heroes ending their turn in this location take 1 Crisis token. So she's dealing out a bunch of Crisis tokens in this one. And then Psionic Blast. Before drawing their card for the turn, heroes starting their turn in this location must discard cards until they have 1 in hand. So there's that one. So that is going to be all of Emma's cards. Oh, right there. Put everything away, and then we'll take a look at Colossus first with his threats. We've got Avatar of Kidarak right here. Looks like he's got 4 of those. Are they the same card? Yep, he's got 4 of them. So deal 2 damage to 1 hero in this location and 1 damage to each other hero in this location. So if you're grouped up, you're taking quite a few damage right there. So he's got 6 of those right here. And then we've got Colossus, Phoenix 5, various cards, all that stuff right here. We've got Restraining Power. The hero with the most cards in hand in Colossus' location must discard cards until they have only 1 in hand. I always forget that during this time, Colossus was... He's got how many of those? 4. So all 4 of his specials are that way. I always forget that at this time, Colossus was basically Juggernaut. During this time, I'd never read Fear Itself, or that whole thing, so I don't know how he got all of that. But anyway, we've got Magic right here. Limbo Demons. Limbo. Deal 1 damage to each hero in this location if they cannot dance under a broom handle. No, that's not what that says. So we've got that right there. And then we've got Limbo Prison, 2 copies of that. Civilians in this location require 2 heroics to be rescued. Heroes using movement to leave this location must use 2 movement instead. I hate those cards. Heroes starting their Demonic Interference. Heroes starting their turn in this location must treat any special effects on the card they play this turn as blank. So that is never good at all. So there is that. And then we got Magic's actual cards. Let's go ahead and just go to her specials. Limbo is my Playground right there. Each hero in locations with threat must discard 1 to the bottom of their deck. So we've got that. And then finally we've got Demon's Rise right here. If there are any Limbo Demons threats cleared, put them back in play in the next clockwise location without a threat. So basically those demons are going to be showing up quite a bit during her encounter. So finally we've got Namor, the Submariner, Phoenix 5 version, Underwater Battleground. Looks like we have a bunch of those. Looks like all 6 of them are the same right here. As long as there are any crisis tokens in this location, Namor cannot be damaged here, and heroes that take damage here take 1 extra damage. So there is that. Back to the show. So we have his cards right here. Imperious Rex, deal 1 damage for each Imperious Rex Master Plan card in the storyline to 1 hero in Namor's location. So he's got, looks like 4 of those, and that one moves clockwise to the next location with any heroes. So there is that right there. That is going to be all of Namor's cards. That is going to be all the cards in the game. We didn't look at the Phoenix threads, though. So Phoenix Force, looks like these are all somewhat different. What is it? It says before drawing their card for this turn, heroes starting their turn in this location must discard cards until they have only 1 in hand. Only wild can be used to clear this threat. So we got like that right there, and we got 2 of those. It looks like heroes starting their turn in this location treat all special effects in their cards as blank this turn. Only wilds can be used on this. So can't use just regular punch or anything like that. You have to use a wild card for this one. That's for special effects. Heroes starting their turn in this location must ignore 1 action symbol at the bottom of hero cards. Only wilds can clear the threat. So there's that. I do wish they would have probably named these a little bit differently, just that way it's easier to kind of identify them on the board, especially those 4 that are kind of very similar. But it is what it is. So let's go ahead and take a look at the figures themselves. So let's go ahead and take a look at Hope Summers. Pretty cool figure right there. So there she is doing her running thing right there. And then we've got Phoenix 5 Cyclops right here with his space chicken mask right there. Then we've got the White Queen. And we have Namor with the transparent base right here with that wave. That looks pretty cool. I always get worried about wanting to paint these because of the fact that I don't want to mess up. Like, I want to keep like the clear effect on there because there's certain effects like fire definitively. I have a really hard time with fire. I can show you guys at some point some miniature elementals and stuff like that I've painted. Fire is not my friend. But there's magic right there. And then finally we have Colossus right here. And for some reason, I don't know when these are all coming out, but I literally filmed the X-Men Gold Team Blue Team unboxing like just 5 minutes before I started filming this one. I feel like the Colossus from the Gold Team Blue Team is from Gold Team is a little bit bigger than this one, but I do like the way the sculpt looks, so I'm kind of torn on that one. I don't know which one of those I like better. Maybe at some point I'll compare them. But yeah, that is going to be all the figures. That is all the cards and everything that we get for Marvel United X-Men Phoenix 5. Again, mechanically, very excited to get this one on the table. I haven't actually played through this one yet, or gone through the entire campaign or anything like that. Mechanically, like I said, I'm very interested in it. Theme-wise, I wish they would have done something else besides Phoenix 5 myself, but you know, we got what we got. It's pretty cool. Like I said, if you did all the basically this came from me with the all-in. So, but I thank you guys for tuning in to this unboxing. Let me know down below what your favorite character is, and your thoughts on how to tackle the campaign mode of this. If you want to go into that, you can. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the notification bell so that way you are notified as to when new videos are out on the channel. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you subscribe. Help us grow the channel so that way we can be the best that we can be, or something along those lines. I have been Eric. This has been Rockshire Gaming. This has been the Phoenix 5 expansion from Marvel United X-Men, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.